Deep in the Colombian jungle, among the tallest trees in the world, there's a secret hidden in plain sight. Giants walk all around it every day, but they never notice it. Why? Because they're blind to its world. Because it's a world of such miniature scale that even the mightiest tree becomes a mountain range, and the finest hair on a man becomes a thick forest. Welcome to the home of the tiniest spider on Earth. The spider's name is Patu Digua. The largest males measure just 0.37 millimeters. For reference, that's about the width of 2 human hairs, or the thickness of a torn piece of tissue paper. If you wanted to see it, you would need a microscope. But that's not how the giants see the world. They're blind to this miniature universe unless, of course, they happen to hold it in their hands. But even then, who would suspect that within the rough texture of a twig or the waxy surface of a leaf, there's a spider kingdom just waiting to be noticed? Imagine if a giant were to suddenly shrink down to the size of a spider. Every dewdrop on a leaf would become a lake. Each grain of pollen would be as big as a basketball, and the spider itself would grow to the size of a cat. Everything would be huge, imposing, overwhelming. But this little spider knows no other life, so it navigates its world just like any other spider, building webs of silk, hunting prey, and trying to stay alive. Its life is full of giant leaps. Every stride could be its last. Every bite might be its last meal. It has no choice but to be brave. To survive, Patu Digua has to spin one of the finest webs in the insect world. It's a sticky situation. After all, how does a teeny tiny spider make a web that will stand up to the wind and the rain, the heat, and the cold? How does it make a web strong enough to catch prey and keep itself safe? Like any good engineer, Patu Digua starts with the basics: silk. It carries the silk around with it in special sacks under its abdomen. The silk is made of proteins spun into super thin threads. One strand is about 2/3 the width of a human hair. But the spider uses many strands in its web, along with sticky droplets called globules. The globules are made of proteins, too. Together, they form a flexible, stretchy material that's strong enough to catch insects. The spider pulls the strands taut and lets the globules do the rest, forming a net as fine as lace. It makes perfect geometric shapes and colors ranging from white to cream to light brown, and it only takes hours to complete. Now, Patu Digua doesn't make these webs everywhere. It finds a special leaf, stem, or twig and spins its masterpiece right on top of it. The webbing is so precise, so perfectly formed, it looks almost alien. But it's the result of instincts honed over millions of years. After all, spiders have been spinning webs since the Devonian period, 400 million years ago. Some scientists think the first webs weren't used for hunting, but for ballooning. Early spiders would spin a thread and let the wind carry them away, exploring new habitats, looking for food. Over time, spiders learned to use their webs to catch insects and eat. They got better and better at spinning webs, until finally, the art was perfected. Now, thanks to generations of ancestors, Patu Digua can spin its web without a hitch. But even a perfectly formed web isn't enough. Spiderlings have to wait for their webs to attract prey. And what prey would fly into such a tiny web? Well, luckily for Patu Digua, it lives in the right place. All around its home, there are microscopic mites called eurybatids. They live in the soil, eating decaying leaves and other organic matter. Eurybatids are incredibly diverse, with thousands of species found around the world. They're also everywhere. There are dozens of them on a single grain of soil, but because they're so small, they've mostly gone unnoticed. Luckily, Patu Digua is in the business of finding small things. Its legs are sensitive enough to feel the vibration of a passing mite. When one gets close enough, the spider lunges, biting into the mite's soft body. It injects a paralyzing venom and begins wrapping the still living mite in silk, tucking it away for later. Soon it will be spun into a cocoon to be stored in a special place on the web. Only when the spider is ready will it unwrap the cocoon, suck up the digested acids and swallow the now lifeless mite whole. The hunt is a dangerous game. The spider is tiny and vulnerable, but it has advantages. Its size helps it move fast, sneak up on prey, and strike quickly. Also, its world is full of giants, animals hundreds of times its size trampling through the forest, chasing each other, seeking food. Eurybatids are smart enough to avoid being stepped on, but they don't know much else. They can't fight off predators, and they sure can't escape the grasp of a hungry spider. So the spider waits patiently, conserving energy, striking when the time is right. And over time, it slowly grows fatter, stronger, healthier. Yet this life of extremes is short-lived. Scientists believe that after hatching, Patu Digua lives for only 2 to 3 weeks. It finds food, builds a web, mates, lays eggs, and dies before the giants even notice it. What a life. What a way to disappear. As you might have guessed though, Patu Digua wasn't always undiscovered. For centuries, people have been catching glimpses of it, seeing the webs and thinking nothing of it. For a long time, scientists didn't even know spiders could get that small. It wasn't until 2021 that a team of naturalists finally spotted one in its native habitat. They took photos and collected specimens, but even then, studying the spider was a challenge. It was so fragile that it crumbled under their microscopes. Even modern scanning electron microscopes couldn't scan it without damaging it. So scientists had to carefully peel back layers of its dead skin, scraping away bits of its exoskeleton and removing dirt and debris. It was painstaking work, but it revealed an amazing truth. If you thought a spider as small as Patu Digua would be simple, you'd be wrong. It has all the parts of a normal spider, just much smaller. It has 8 legs, 2 body segments, 6 pairs of appendages, and a pair of spinnerets to make silk. Each leg has 5 joints, allowing flexibility and strength. Each foot has 4 to 6 claws, helping it grip surfaces. It has 1 pair of pedipalps, which it uses to sense chemicals in the air and taste its food. It has 6 pairs of simple eyes, probably not great for seeing, but good enough for sensing light and dark. And it has fangs. The whole spider is fully functional, capable of hunting and fighting, and reproducing. It's no wonder scientists were stunned. They saw everything they expected and some things they didn't. For example, it has jaws. Spiders typically have 1 jawbone called a mandible, but Patu Digua has 2, which could mean it chews its food, something no other spider can do. Scientists are still investigating. They're studying the spider's anatomy to learn how it works. They want to understand what makes it so small. They're even trying to map its genome. The hope is that studying a spider so different from others will reveal new things about all spiders. Maybe it will show how ancient spiders evolved. Maybe why they stopped growing so small. Or maybe, just maybe, it will teach us something about the incredible power of evolution and the infinite ways life finds to survive. After all, the ability to shrink down to the size of a speck of dust and thrive there, well, that's the ultimate survival skill. It's hard to say exactly what the future holds, but one thing is certain. Patu Digua is about to change our view of spiders forever. So the next time you look out into the jungle, take a closer look at the plants and trees and vines. Remember, there's a spider smaller than a grain of rice, building a web finer than a strand of DNA. It's waiting for dinner, to fly right into its trap, to stumble unknowingly into its domain. It's a hunter in a world of giants, thriving in its small universe, completely unnoticed. And that's what makes it so magnificently magnificent. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with our latest news.